There's Joe Panic and a ground ball that's hit to second. Munoz. How about Miles Michaelis, as sharp as we've seen him this year?
Hey there, Coach Riz here from Elite Youth Baseball, and today we are going to be looking at the proper approach infielders should take when fielding the routine ground ball. Specifically, the importance of fielders working around the right side of the baseball. As I play this clip of a routine ground ball to second, pay attention to the path the second baseman takes to field the baseball.
Joe Panic and a ground ball that's hit to second. Munoz.
When the ground ball is hit, instead of charging directly at the baseball to field it, the second baseman works to position himself to the right of the ball. This is done for a couple different reasons. One, by fielding the ball from right to left, the player is able to start generating momentum towards first base before he's even fielded the ball. I call this free energy because you're generating it with your body during the process of fielding the baseball. This allows the player to have more on his throw sort of effortlessly. And although harnessing this free energy might not be totally necessary in this example with the Major League second baseman, it becomes a huge benefit when applied to infielders playing on the left side of the infield, especially when talking about young players whose arm strengths are often still playing catch-up to the field sizes. The second benefit is that it helps the infielder read or judge the baseball, because the ball hit directly at you, whether it's a line drive or a ground ball, is the most difficult ball to judge.
Drive to center field, Upton started in and just able to reach up with that long left arm of his and take that one out of center field.
So by getting to the right of the baseball, we create an angle that helps us read it. Creating this angle is hugely important for the fielder to be able to judge the ground ball to determine which hop to field, which, in my opinion, is arguably one of the most important skills the player needs to develop in order to become an elite infielder. And we'll be covering that in a later video. So the way we teach this to the kids is to have them work around to the right of the baseball. The path that they take should be around an imaginary cone or bucket that's in the way, so that they have to work around that to get into position and start generating momentum towards first base. Now let's take a look at future Hall of Fame shortstop Derek Jeter as he employs the same fundamental of working around to the right of the baseball, creating momentum towards first as he fields a routine ground ball at shortstop. Again, if we put down a line showing the path of the baseball, you'll notice how he works around an imaginary bucket or cone to approach fielding the ball from the right. I like to tell players that as they're approaching to field the baseball, a good aiming point is to try to align the path of the baseball with their left ear, or just outside their left ear. By approaching the baseball with this technique, the player is able to generate a tremendous amount of momentum towards first base, as opposed to the player who incorrectly approaches fielding this baseball from directly at it, thus creating momentum towards home. He has to now stop and redirect his energy towards creating more momentum towards first after he fields it. When done correctly, as Jeter does here, the momentum allows for a smooth, almost effortless throw to first. Here's a different view of the same play that really illustrates the momentum that is generated by working around an imaginary cone or bucket and getting to the right side of the baseball. You can see how efficiently he uses his momentum to help generate a powerful throw to first base.
The 2-0 pitch to Martinez.
He even exaggerates this by continuing to run towards first base after he's released the baseball. So a drill I love to use to teach this fundamental to kids on our teams is a drill I call the Beckett Drill. There are a few things that I absolutely love about the Beckett Drill. First of all, it's simple, and since no one has to hit ground balls, it's also very coach-friendly. It's extremely efficient, allowing an entire team of youth players to get a lot of reps in simultaneously. It also requires very little effort to set up and can easily be incorporated as the last step in a team warm-up. And most importantly, it's hugely beneficial in creating proper footwork in young players. In fact, I did my first Beckett Drill as a college infielder, and yet it's simple enough for 9-year-olds to run. Here's my bucket drill set up at the indoor facilities of the Indiana Twins. The first thing you need is a bucket full of baseballs, and then this picture is taken from the vantage point of the player. The white line taped to the ground it represents the path that the ground ball will take. In this drill, it's set up as if the player is a shortstop. Over at first base, we've got a pitching pad for the players to throw into, but typically I use a net. So the way the bucket drill works is like this. Here's a view of it from what would be home plate. The player grabs a ball out of the bucket and places it in his glove. He then goes through his pre-pitch routine with his prep step and the little hop. As he lands, he pretends or he imagines that a routine ground ball was hit to him at his position. He works his way around the bucket, getting to the right of the baseball and placing the path of the baseball at about his left ear. He then breaks down and gets into a perfect fielding position and then continues with his momentum towards first base, or in our case, the pad or the net, and makes an accurate throw. He then follows it for a couple steps, and then he peels off and he goes back and grabs another ball and then returns to the end of the line and goes again. Here's a bucket drill being done by one of our youth athletes. So you can easily run this drill for pretty much the whole team, especially at the youth level where many of your players are going to play both infield and outfield. I find it best to run without a first baseman. So you're going to need 3 5-gallon buckets of baseballs, or you can simply use cones and then just lay the baseballs on the ground like near the outfield. Split your players up so they go to their positions at second, short, or third. Place the buckets or the cones in line with what a routine ground ball would be from their normal position, about 2 or 3 steps in. With the idea of the players will grab a baseball and they'll be taking it strictly out of their glove. They'll work around the cone or the bucket, fielding it, and then keeping that momentum from their proper approach, make an accurate throw over into the net at first. Then they'll peel off, go back and grab another ball out of the bucket, and go to the end of the line. As you can see, while running this drill, this allows a lot of players to be engaged at the same time, which, if done every day at practice, increases the amount of reps they get in creating the muscle memory necessary for that perfect footwork and that perfect approach on fielding the routine ground ball. All right, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please do me a favor and click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.